So I heard a lot of good stuff this week. The most important of all was mainly the reaching out to the librarian. I know when I was a first semester student or I was coming back, I took like a 6 year break and I came back in 2017. I did go to Maricosa in 2011. However, I wasn't really utilizing all the resources. So what was interesting is when I went back to school in 2017, they actually had us meet in the library one time and they showed us how to get credible resources and how to utilize a librarian. So like if we're confused on the citations, anything like that, they're there to help. And they have a 24-hour helpline, which is really cool because I really didn't know that in 2011 at all. So I really liked how Professor actually talked about that and utilizing the librarian in the first video, which is the research video. Citing can be really hard. I know we're doing APA, so I'm familiar with APA and MLA, but I'm a sociology major, so now we're doing ASA, so sometimes it gets a little confusing switching from back and forth right now. So I will probably be utilizing the librarian for sure. Um, in the research video, it said we had to use 4 sources. I like how our professor is pretty flexible with our sources. He was like, you can interview someone, use YouTube. I know in some English classes we can't really cite YouTube videos. I don't know, it makes it more interesting. And I like how he's already talking about the informative speech because it's like getting my wheels turning. I already have an idea of what I'm gonna write about. I'm already like in my head formatting like my 3 points, for my body and what exactly I'm gonna talk about. And it's something interesting. So he's very flexible with like, what we get to pick. You don't necessarily give us a topic. I think I'm gonna talk about recycling because I know when I first learned a couple semesters ago about recycling, there was a lot of facts I didn't know about it. So I think it'd be really cool to teach others about it, because sometimes we think we are recycling, we really aren't. Because sometimes a lot of them go to the landfills. But I will talk about that more in my informative speech coming up soon. So I really like that video. It just makes me kind of want to do this more rather than like, oh, I'm forced to do this. Like this is overwhelming. I don't know. I want to be interested in what I'm talking about. So I appreciate you giving us that opportunity to pick our topic and have so much flexibility with that. I don't know. So the ethopathos logos video was very interesting. I tend to get them confused with like which one is which, but what I found most interesting was the fact that your character actually plays like a lot of influence on what you're talking about. So like going back to the research part, like yes, we have to cite our sources and we have to remain credible. However, your character comes first, unfortunately. So if you're not reeling in your audience straight from the gate, straight from the introduction, like how are they really going to be intrigued by what you're talking about? And you just want to remain credible, you don't want to push, like I think it was in another video from last week about how we don't want to push our opinions onto someone, or it was talking about stuff not to say, like we don't want to be gossiping, we don't want to be complaining, all of that, like that's actually super important. So like the ethos pathos logos, which is like 1, reason logically, 2, understand human character, and 3, understand human emotions and be able to describe them. That in itself, by like describing an emotion, can really captivate your audience and take them to the place where you are actually trying to describe a particular situation. So like, I don't know, it's kind of like when I describe a story, like I want to place that person right there with me. And the ability to do that with a whole crowd would be amazing, to place not just one person, because I like to believe I'm pretty good on a intimate level, but when it comes to a whole audience, that I would love to be that person, you know, just really captivated by what they're saying and just totally in the moment and the feelings of being in that situation. I want to be able to do that. That's why I love all these videos, because it's helping me better improve on how to speak to an audience. And I remember, like, I think in my first couple videos I talked about like my anxiety with it and how it terrifies me, or when I pause all the time. Like, one of our videos was on anxiety and how to better soothe it, and like the certain tools we can use to help like calm ourselves, like be more mindful and just let go, you know, just let go of how you're feeling. Practice which helps. Like, I don't know, that's how I feel like I am better improving, just when I reflect back on what I was talking about before. Um, Creating an outline, which is very important. I found myself actually, before the first couple weeks, I would write out like almost in essay format what I would be talking about, which I actually found that harder because I was trying to like memorize what, like, verbatim, what I was going to talk about, rather than really utilizing your memory and your brain to remember what you are talking about. So this week, I actually created the outline first, not like the essay format. I just created a couple keywords in there, like I put, you know, ethos, pathos, logos, like to get my brain running, or Aristotle, just to remember that he was talking about, or he's the one that developed the ethos, pathos, logos idea and the benefit from it. So I can already see myself, like when I reflect on that as well, finding different techniques to help me better improve. So I actually like writing the outline first because I'm not trying to memorize stuff. I'm trying to actually be knowledgeable on what I am talking about. I really, really like that. It's actually, it's helping me in all my classes, you know. I know I already talked about professors, like how I like his flexibility, but the fact that he's having us write our outline actually on the document or on the format he's already written out for us is going to help us be more successful. And that's what we need as teachers, that give us these assignments that allow us to be more successful. So I don't want to miss anything on the assignment. So writing it out through the outline will really help me. So, I mean, I guess I can talk about my idea of my informative speech. I kind of touched on, I was going to talk about recycling. I was going to kind of tie in reduce, reuse, recycle. I don't know, another idea I was thinking, I've seen someone else do this presentation in my biology class. It was on microbeads and how it does pollute our environment. So it's little tiny plastic pieces in, let's say, like my face wash or my body wash, anything like that. It actually harms our environment. And unfortunately, what I find interesting, and this might be an opinion right here because I don't know if it's a fact, but you don't really see how any of these harmful products into our environment are advertised as harmful. So like, I believe that there should be a a sticker or something to like bring up society's awareness that, like, hey, just to make you be aware before you buy this item, this can harm our environment or our aquatic systems or anything like that, or ocean. You know, like I had no idea, which probably is a lack on my part. I'm a little, you know, like I just didn't know, you know, I thought that was interesting. What else was I thinking? There's some other inappropriate stuff I was going to talk about, like inappropriate topics. Like, it was more based on like feminism. I'm super interested in that. It was kind of on sexual assault against women, but I didn't think that would be appropriate to talk about. I was mainly going to touch on like the statistics of it, how many men are actually convicted after sexually assaulting a woman, you know, and kind of tie into like what society, like what message is that giving to society? Um, is it like giving society or society's men like almost the approval, like, hey, this is okay to do because they're not really convicting many people, but I don't think that's appropriate. So I guess you can see how my wheels are turning with all the stuff we're learning, all the ideas I've come up with, how to better improve on this class and even my other classes. So thank you, and that's it.